Chatter was asking for how certain things are clipped out of context. Here, this is a great example.
And this is an ongoing like joke with this community. These are just fucking benign dudes. Just I don't know what the fuck they're doing. It looks like they're doing charity or something. It looks like they've got water or box.
They're doing charity. Remember, by the way, this is a video that he quote unquote researched for months.
Or something like they're helping, and he's going, "Oh, look at these inbred fucks." It's like, bro, who are you? What are you? Who are you? Like, how dare you?
Guys, the Israeli police is investigating the attack on the Gaza aid convoy.
Israeli security forces are paid to stop this happening. They either could not or would not, but clearly did not prevent Israeli settlers attacking an aid convoy yesterday. From the West Bank, bound for Gaza, where, say aid agencies, hundreds of thousands of civilians face famine.
But during the unloading and loading, settlers attacked these trucks, destroying the products and burning them in a systematic act of sabotage.
A continuation of images seen yesterday as settlers destroyed food at the same crossing point.
Do you understand now? Every, and I mean every single clip that he used, every single one is exactly like this. Coming from a place where I'm afraid to say the person making this content nuke is not necessarily knowledgeable on the matter and simply wanted to shit sling. And I think to a certain degree, especially in his own community, it did work. It presented him as someone who was genuinely wronged, right? By a radical who scared him. A radical who lied to him. When in fact, I never hid my political perspective. We had a political podcast. And I mean this in all sincerity. I want him to get better. Yes, I definitely have been in my feelings about this sort of thing, but who wouldn't be? This is coming after, 6-7 months of endless begging for deplatforming, actively collaborating with the likes of Dan Saltman and Sex Pestiny. But having said that, I don't want Ethan to be sad. I want him to have a healthy, normal stream. I just want him to leave me alone for the most part. I don't think he will, but I think it's just things are not going to get better for him. And this is his own undoing. I think he's just going to keep increasing and upping the ante and saying more and more unhinged things because he's not thinking clearly in this process. And any kind of statement I make about this is not going to reach him in a positive way. From what I understand, he's saying his next nuke that he's going to make, another one, is going to be spiteful, as though the first one wasn't. And I don't know if he recognizes that this is his own undoing. But yeah. Where's that one chatter who asked that question? I assume he fucked off immediately after saying, immediately after coming in and saying, like, this is, nah, he said some other stupid shit. I mean, that's clearly not the messaging of the video. If you're saying his claim is you scared him, do you have any media literacy whatsoever? Do you think I need media literacy to understand a YouTube drama slop video? Like, what are you talking about? You're making it seem like this is a formative work. It's very clear what the intention of the video is. And also, notice how you move the needle. You move the goalpost. I said that it's out of context. You demanded I describe to you what the context is, and you immediately moved on. And you're like, well, that's not the major point of the video. At a certain point, you have to understand, like, okay, well, if this is incorrect, do you like being incorrect? I guess you do. I guess you don't care. I myself, I don't like being incorrect. Almost like this chatter wasn't approaching you in good faith. Yeah, I know. How do you know he collaborated with Sex Pestiny? Ethan claims not to know him. He used untitled, unlisted videos from DGG Orbiter accounts that were titled HasanAbi. And also Dan Saltman admitted that he was emailing back and forth with Ethan. Also, he does know who Destiny is. What are you talking about? I've had conversations with him about Destiny before. He has had conversations with me about Destiny before. He knows exactly who the fuck Destiny is. That's crazy. People forget Destiny used to call him a R word all the time. Back when Ethan was my ally. He also used like Photoshop memes that DDGers made for the Frogan memes. To them, the reality is to them, Ethan is nothing. Like Ethan is just a weapon. You know what I mean? And I don't think he realizes that. And I think the more he participates in this stuff, the more people look at it and go, okay, well, this is not for me. This is what I'm talking about when I say, like, I wish for his own sake he would stop doing this. He won't stop. He wants to take the mantle of D. This is something that I've warned other hate slop tubers about in the past. If your entire content revolves around like toxicity and bad faith, clipped out of context shit about a content creator that has a, fairly sizable audience of haters, and if your job is to simply make videos like that, you can only tap that vein so much until it runs dry. And then the community that you've cultivated turns into one that is only seeking that out, and they'll move on. And that's it. Like, we had a lot of crossover audience members, and I think he wants to retain the remainder in an effort to be like, this is why I've been doing this. Here's why it's justifiable. And since the quote unquote content nuke didn't work, now he's just gonna go and engage in petty shit, slander. And there's already enough haters of mine out there that they'll entertain anything. In the same vein as the way, Trump supporters will agree to whatever kind of idiotic thing that Ian Miles Wrong is posting. Making that kind of, taking the initiative and making that kind of content is not for someone who has any sort of kindness in their heart. And even if you kill that kindness in your heart, you still won't be able to maintain it because it's so fucking toxic. And at a certain point, people are going to be like, you're using these sorts of clips out of context. Here are the million different instances where people have used clips of you from the past. You know what I mean? Like, he's a person who I thought had grown from his past behavior. The H3 subreddit is insane now, and Ethan copy strike the snark Reddit for doing exactly what they're doing. Yeah, I saw. Sometimes it pops up on my Reddit. It's shocking how much a community can turn in like a matter of 6 months. Like, it's pretty crazy. Did you just admit to having a Reddit? Yes, I go on Reddit from time to time. It is pretty crazy because that community used to hate Destiny for understandable reasons. And they used to regularly point out that Destiny's commentators, Destiny's community is like actively brigading it. And now they love it.